The Ganzo Sentinel is ready for action. Now at $13.64, I'm amazed at the bang for your buck that this knife provides. That's the price at gearbest.com, $13.64. I didn't even bother to look around for other prices. Now this knife was provided to me by Ganzo directly, but I would have gladly bought this knife myself. Now I call it the Sentinel, but if you want to buy it, you'll need to go by this model number right here. And that's model number G742-1-GR. Now I really wish Ganzo would get more creative with their names. They would sell more knives, but when you order this knife, ask for the Sentinel. Maybe they'll get the point. I'll do a paper cutting test at the end of the video because I really want you to see this edge that I put on this 440C stainless steel blade. I did this with my Wicked Edge sharpener. Now it came out of the box fairly sharp, but I've used it a good bit, and so I wanted to sharpen it up for this video. So even though this isn't a super steel, it does take a fine edge. I sharpened it while I was watching all of the Democratic National Convention that I could stand, and that wasn't very much. So how do I use the Sentinel? Well, the overall size and design of the knife makes it a great general purpose EDC knife that can function in a variety of uses, from opening the mail to food prep to self-defense in a pinch. Let's look at some comparable knives that I own, and I think probably the best comparison of all is to the Spyderco Tenacious, but unfortunately mine isn't available. If you follow my channel, you know that I'm doing a modification project on it, and it's on hold due to a snag. I just can't find a drill press that I can use, but I will finish that project and bring a video to you in the future. But most everybody is familiar with the Kershaw Skyline. I like to use this for a comparison knife in videos because it is so familiar, and it's a standard 3-inch long blade. And you can tell the Ganzo Sentinel is a good bit longer. Here's another comparison. This is to the Kershaw Emerson CQC6, and it's a closer comparison, but you can tell that the Sentinel is still a little bit longer overall at 8 1/4 inches. Now, the Skyline sells for $45 and the CQC6 sells for $35. So at $13.64, the Sentinel wins the value contest hands down. Let me give you a close-up of the blade before we move on to the handle and the rest of the knife. Actually, I just want to show off that mirror polished edge. There's the show side, and here's the reverse side. And there's the writing on the back. It's G742-440C. Now this is a frame lock. I want to show you the lockup. This is a solid lockup. There's no wiggle in the blade whatsoever. And I would say that's right at 100%. Now this has a flow-through design. It's solid stainless steel on one side, and then stainless steel liner with a very smooth G10 outer scale. And I think you can tell maybe that isn't very aggressive G10. It's comfortable to hold. It has chamfered edges. I think you can see that there. In fact, this is very comfortable to hold. There's only one edge that presents any problem at all, and it's that edge right there. But you know, my hand really doesn't go there very often, so it doesn't bother me. And I've had this knife for about a month, and over that period of time, I think it's worked its way in a little bit. It's not quite as sharp. Now for $13.64, you even get a lock bar stabilizer. I think that's a great value. You get one of my favorite pocket clip designs. I think they borrowed this from Spyderco, sort of that spoonbill design, and it's reversible, right hand or left hand, but it's not reversible tip up or tip down. This comes tip up. Now for a knife this large, I don't think you need a lanyard, but they do have room there for a lanyard, and it's a pretty large hole. The Sentinel is very secure in my hands. There's plenty of real estate on the handle, even for my large hands, and I have a little bit of the handle left over. The finger choil underneath here and this jimping on the thumb wrap, it's not very aggressive, but together they really lock my hand in place. Guys, at $13.64, I don't know how Ganzo does this. I got a good deal on my Spyderco Tenacious back in the day, but it was double the price of this Sentinel. I hate to point out any negatives at all for a knife at this price point, but I would say the main negatives are that it's a fairly heavy knife and the action is fairly stiff out of box. I'm not going to even try to flick it open. I can with a lot of wrist action, but it's not that easy. But the weight hasn't bothered me, and the action has loosened up with time. Now, I could have loosened up this pivot screw right here, but I really like where the centering is right now, and I didn't want to mess that up. So guys, all I can say is contact Ganzo as soon as possible and order the Sentinel. Now, you may have to mention model number G742-1-GR. Y'all take care.